What's happening, tabletop gamers? My name is LeunameGames and welcome back to LeunameGames. Today we're going to learn how to play the 3 to 5 player auction game Warehouse 51 by Bruno Faidutti, Sérgio Halaban, and André Zatz, and published by Funforge and Passport Game Studios. In Warehouse 51, a superpower has gone bankrupt, and in a final attempt to raise money, the country is now holding an auction of its most prestigious artifacts that are stored away in the well-guarded Warehouse 51. And the players will all be billionaires trying to bid for these items and obtain them for their own personal collections. However, some of these items are counterfeits, but you don't know which ones will be until after the auction. Let's get to the table and let's see what's in the box. To set up the game, sort the 4 artifact cards into their separate decks and shuffle each one. Give each player a player sheet. You can give them whichever one you want. They're all the same apart from the artwork, along with 10 gold ingots. Take the certificate tokens, the pawnbroker tokens, and 20 more gold ingots and set them all aside for now. Any leftover gold ingots you can just put back in the box. Shuffle this deck of counterfeit cards and deal 1 in between each player, and you're ready to begin. The game takes place over several auctions. When it's your turn to start an auction, choose which deck you want to auction off, then flip the top card over to expose to all players. This is going to be the item that is going to be auctioned off. Before we get into the auctions though, there are 2 things you need to know about the artifacts. The artifacts have 2 pieces of information that you need to know about. There is a possibility that the artifacts could have a symbol in the top right corner, and there's always going to be a number in the top left corner. The number in the top left corner indicates their value of the majority, which means this determines who has majority when it comes to end scoring, which I will explain later. But in terms of the right, there is always a possibility that there could be something there. It could also be nothing there, which means that the artifact is just a normal artifact and it does nothing. But some of them could be blessed, which have a star, which means they will have an effect down here that will help you. It could be a permanent effect, which means you have a special ability. It could have an effect that triggers at the end of the game. It could have an effect that happens during scoring, or it could have an effect that happens immediately after you acquire the item. But also, there are some items that have this cross symbol. This means they are cursed, which means they will have an effect that will hurt you at some point. There's also a symbol that has a fist on it. The fist, if it comes up, means that that auction is going to be a blind auction, which I will get to later on. Going back to the auctions, starting with the player who started the auction, each player is going to go around in clockwise, either bidding for the item that's being auctioned off or passing. If you choose to bid, you will verbally say how much you want to bid for the item being auctioned. For example, if this was the person who started the bid, he could say, I'm going to bid 3 for this. And then it goes to the next player. He then has the choice of either bidding or passing. If he wants to bid, he has to bid more than what was previously stated. So if this player said 3, this player could then say 5. Goes to the next player, he could say 7. At any point when it comes your turn to either choose to bid or pass again, you have the option of passing. If you choose to pass, you are leaving the auction completely and cannot participate again. Eventually, all but 1 player will pass. Whoever is that player has won the bid. They will then take the money that they used to win the bid, give it to the player on their left. They will then take the item that they've won and add it face up to their personal collection. Whoever won the bid then becomes the player who starts the next auction, choosing whichever deck they want and flipping the top card over just like before. If nobody bid on the item, it is discarded out of the game, and the player who won the last auction starts the next one, flipping the card over of whatever he wants. When you start the next auction, if the item that is flipped over has a fist on it, that means this auction is going to be a closed auction. What that means is that in secret, every player is going to simultaneously pick how many ingots they want to bid and then hold it in their closed fist. Once everybody has decided how many ingots they want to bid, they will all simultaneously reveal them. Whoever revealed the most ingots wins the bid, once again giving the money that they used to win it to the player on their left, taking the item and placing it in their collection. On a separate note, at any time, even during an auction, if you have 5 ingots or less, you are allowed to pawn off one of your relics. To pawn a relic, place one of these pawnbroker tokens on the relic you wish to pawn and receive 5 gold ingots from the reserve. If there are no ingots left, then you cannot pawn a relic. While the item is pawned, however, any effects that it has, with the exception of curses, will lose their effect. The game ends when the final relic card has been auctioned. When the game ends, there are 3 things that have to happen in this order before you proceed to scoring. Every player clockwise from the player who won the last auction has an opportunity to buy back cards that they pawned. To do that, you'll have to pay 10 ingots for every relic that you want back. Any card you don't buy back will not count for scoring. Next, a player with an artifact that allows them to obtain a certificate of authenticity can place that token on any one of their artifacts that they suspect to be a counterfeit. Finally, reveal all the counterfeit cards that are on the table. Any artifacts that match the counterfeit cards are discarded and they don't count towards your scoring. Then you proceed to the final scoring. To score, first you will score the majority for each of the 4 categories. In order to do that, total up the value of each category of the cards that you have. Whoever has the highest value of that category will earn the first place points. Whoever has the second highest of that category will earn the second place points. For example, if I ended up scoring the highest amount in blue, I would score 8 points. If I ended up with the second highest in red, I would score 3 points. Make sure when you're scoring, you follow the order of your player age from left to right. If there is a tie for the majority, there are a couple tiebreakers. First of all, whoever has the Yata no Kagami wins all ties, and whoever has the Shirt of Nessus loses all ties. Also, if the same player has both of them, the effects cancel each other. If both players tie for the most, they both get the points of the second most. If there is a tie for second place, then the tied players don't get anything. If more than 2 players tie for first or second, no one gets anything. You will also score 5 points for each complete set of each color. You will also score 5 points for each complete set of 4 colors that you have, and for each set of 5 gold ingots that you have left, you score 1 point. Count up your total points, and whoever has the most points is the winner. If there is a tie, the tied player that has the Yata no Kagami wins, and the player that has the Shirt of Nessus loses. If there's still a tie, then both players share the win. And that's everything you need to know in order to play Warehouse 51. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will get to them. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to know my thoughts on Warehouse 51 or if you want to learn how to play more games, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more tutorials, reviews, and unboxings. Thank you all as always so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.